This is the full TPU case review for the Samsung Galaxy S4 Active. This is not the normal S4, this is the S4 Active. It is the more supposedly rugged Galaxy S4. As far as cases go, I usually go out to eBay and I get one of these cheap TPU cases for $2 or $3, and for everything from the Galaxy S2, S3, S4 normal version, they actually are some of the best cases you can buy. They're extremely well form fit. The buttons work really well. They have kind of a relief, so they press it through the case there. They work really well at protecting the phone and making it so it's not too thick. Something like an OtterBox or some of the two-part cases, they just make the phone too big and bulky, in my opinion. There's no point carrying around a brick if you don't have to. Here's an example of one for the Note 2. White plastic one with the kickstand. Like I said, Galaxy S2, S3, S4 standard versions, these TPU cases generally work really well. Unfortunately, I have to report that when it comes to the S4 Active versions, they didn't quite get it right. And it's mainly in the volume rocker relief there. On this Galaxy S4 Active, the volume button does stick up more than on the other phones, and this seems to be an issue. They didn't quite give enough room there on this volume rocker. What I found is the basic S-curve one is actually working without any kind of modification. That one works, and ironically I have been sent this S-curve version like 3 or 4 different times trying to get this X version, or the excited man version. I call that like the Burning Man, or the super excited guy, because it looks like an excited guy. But this was the version I originally ordered, and I've been sent this S-curve version over and over again, and I keep complaining. They keep sending me new ones or refunding my money. But what it comes down to is the S-curve version so far, in terms of one with relief buttons, is the only one that worked right out of the box. And I'm guessing that's why they keep sending me this one, because they know the other ones have issues. Not that they can't be fixed, but the problem is when you put the phone in the case, basically you've got a constant pressure on the volume switch over there. And if you got the flashlight mode on your phone, where if you hold up the volume button, it turns on the flashlight. See, I'm pressing volume down right there, and it keeps wanting to go up. There's just not enough room in there. It keeps wanting to press on the volume buttons right there. Unfortunately, I'm finding that to be true on 2 out of 3 of the designs. So the X1, the Excited Man, it's got the pressure. The kickstand version, it's got a cool look to it, but it also had the pressure on the buttons. But you know, it's got a cool kickstand. It kind of looks cool with the green coming through the clear there. Basically, all these blue ones look pretty cool on the teal looking S4 Active. There aren't too many options available for the S4 Active. In terms of the general cheap Chinese TPU cases, you've got 3 styles. You got the X, the S, you got a solid colored one, and then you've got the S stand one. Then they have some other variants, like this is the checkerboard shirt pattern. That one kind of gives it a unique look, but this one also has issues. As far as this one goes, the issue is that it doesn't quite go all the way up around the edge of the phone. It's not quite large enough. It could be that with a hairdryer or with long-term use it'll eventually curl over, but it's not quite fitting over the phone. And it also does have not quite right on the volume. It wants to be pressing both buttons at the same time. And I'll show you how to fix that here in a minute. And then you get into the actual decorator designs, the ones that have a colorful printed image on them. There's lots of girly patterns out there. There's all kinds of hearts and butterflies and like weird girly looking colors. This is the most manly looking thing I could get that wasn't like a Confederate flag or an American flag. And it kind of does give it a cool look. I've been using that one for a little while now. I like it except for the fact that the TPU doesn't have relief buttons. It actually has cutouts, and it is usable. It's actually out of the box. It's more usable than the cases that have the pressure on the buttons. So it does work, and it does give it, kind of a special look. And if you're into the feminine look, you can get all the hearts and flowers and stuff as well. So in terms of straight out of the box, I would recommend either one with the cutouts, decent case, or the basic S-curve one for $2 shipped from China. It's a decent case. It looks good on the phone, and all the three I got as replacements, they all worked right out of the box without issues in the volume button. Now, if you get one that has issues in the volume button and you want to fix it, I have a solution for you. What I do, I get out my trusty old soldering iron here, and I've got basically like a wood burning tip on it, or a plastic melting tip. You can probably use any tip you have, but this is more designed for melting over a large period or a large surface area. Set it on as low as possible, and you're going to use that tip, and you're just going to get into the volume recess there, and you're just going to use gentle, even pressure to kind of push it out and melt it out a little bit. Just a very small amount. It's easy to melt right through it and break it. You just want to heat it up a little bit and kind of work it down and out, and test it after every, push it out a little bit, test it, see if it works, go back. Because the power button seems to work on all of them, and it's mainly the volume rocker, it's only a small amount you need to melt it out. But that is an option. If you get one of these cheap cases and you want to make it work, get yourself a low heat soldering iron, and either a rounded or a broad surface tip, and you're going to use that to kind of push out the volume rocker relief area on the TPU case. So that's your option. Unfortunately, they didn't quite get it right on the S4 Active, but that's what you got there, unless you want to go into like an OtterBox or similar other case. They all look decent on the phone, and they all perform okay with the modification to the volume rocker relief area.